Alrighty guys, welcome back to 5-9 Gaming. Today we will be going over the overhauled GamePress tier list, now featuring a brand new God tier. Let us know in the comments down below if you agree with these placements, and if not, let us know what you would change. And as always, make sure to like, subscribe, and follow us on all of our social media platforms. Let's go ahead and get right into it.
Yo, 5-9 Gaming, what's going on? It is your boy ZVG here, and today I am joined by Azdeek and Swift. Say what's up, you guys.
Yo.
And today we're going to be taking a look at the GamePress top fighter tier list. Now, before we get into it, make sure you guys do like the video and subscribe if you aren't already, because they do drop, amazing Dragon Ball Legends content here over on 5-9 Gaming. But without further ado, let's hop into it. So we have the top fighter GamePress tier list here. I'm ZVG. If you guys didn't know, I do actually put my thoughts into this tier list as well as the other members of GamePress, so that's why I'm here to give you guys some insight on why we made certain decisions and stuff. So with that out of the way, let's get down to it. So basically the biggest thing with this tier list is the fact that we did add a new tier called the God tier. Now obviously the Ultras aren't the only units in the game that we've thought about making this tier for. We had FSK Zenkai when he first came out, Vegito Blue, Super Vegito back in first anniversary, as you can see here. But if you had the Ultras just really, have changed the meta that drastically to the point where like they're almost every team, and once they're on your team, then you have the best chance of winning. So without further ado, let's go down the list here, and we have Ultra, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Kake, and Goku as the best unit in the game, followed closely by Ultra Super Gogeta, as you can Swift. But yeah, very closely. So what are your thoughts here on the God tier, the addition of God tier, and the placements of these two Ultras?
So I'm actually a big fan of how you guys did this, because it makes sense. These premium Ultras are just so much above anything else. And as for like the specific placement, I think we were kind of talking about this off camera, but I think the Goku has like a higher skill cap. If you're kind of a skilled player and you've really mastered that gauge, you know how to take advantage of it to get your vanish back and get your healing, get your green cards, all that good stuff. If you really know how to master that, I would say Goku is the better unit. But if you're just trying to have an easy game and just click your buttons and try and get your dub, and you don't really take it too seriously, I think Gogeta will still do very, very good, and you don't really have to focus too much. You just kind of click buttons and you win. But either way, I think they are very, very close. It's kind of hard to say which one's like hands down better, because it just depends on the player that's using them. But yeah, I don't know. Azdeek, what do you think about this placement here?
I have basically the same sentiment right there, bro. Like you could literally play Gogeta like just on autopilot. Like you could just sit there and literally do something else if you wanted to. Just Ultra Gogeta is just the embodiment of what was Ryuden's quote that he would always, or the rectangle man, right? Just literally click on your rectangles and you're gonna end up winning the game. You build up your gauge. He definitely was. I feel like there's not a huge gap between them. But if you were to just look at kits individually, I kind of do want to just give the edge to Gogeta, right? Because Gogeta's kit is just so, like, it's inherently easy to use. Yeah. It's so easy to, like, get the full benefits of his kit, whereas Kaioken Goku, you really have to get comfortable with the unit. You have to actually, there's like a high skill ceiling to this unit right here. But because of that, I would agree with this, that he is ahead of Gogeta. Not by a lot, though.
Yeah, not by a lot at all. And honestly, one of the biggest things for me is the forced lock-in for Gogeta. I mean, to this day, like, that forced lock-in is just so powerful. It's so overpowered to where, if you get locked in, you don't have a vanish, you're basically, like, losing a unit. Because remember, he goes type neutral as well. And that's another thing that I don't think Goku has type neutrality. So the fact that Gogeta has type neutrality, that is something that, really pushes him to the next level when you combine it with the blast armor, the double ultimate, the lock-in, all that stuff. But I do think Goku is, like you said, he has a high skill ceiling, and once you master that gauge, I think there's a lot of different ways you can use it to your advantage, I think.
Yeah, that's the most important part of it. And like you said, all the stuff that you mentioned that Ultra Gogeta has, you as a player don't really have to do anything to activate those conditions, right? You just have to have one of your units dead, and you're getting all of this stuff. You're getting the lock-in, you're getting the type neutrality, you just get blast armor off rip. You don't have to do anything outside of just bringing him onto the field for him to just start getting all that stuff.
for sure. And I mean, Goku, you know, the Goku does obviously get the vanish back, I think 5 times when you fill up the gauge. But Gogeta kind of has something similar. I mean, not really, but kind of. It's just the fact that his blue card destroys the enemy hand. So if you don't have a vanish, you know, you build up Gogeta's gauge, you draw that blue, and you can destroy the enemy hand. And a lot of times that gives you just the right amount of time to either get your vanish back or swap out. So, you know, they both really have good things in their kit. But yeah, I think the final opinion here is just Goku just has a higher skill cap, and then Gogeta is just kind of easier to play. But they're both very, very good.
Yeah, that's the same sentiment that we share. I feel like Goku is like, once you start snowballing with him, like, it becomes very hard to stop him. Obviously, you know, I think he's the most threatening character, like in a situation where if you miss your frame trap, you're pretty much gonna take a 20 timer long combo, because he gets double card draw speed. He won't run out of key, you know, because he does draw the green card that gives him 40 key, and then he also does get his vanish back. So it's very hard to really catch this guy in neutral. But Vegeta, I would say, has, you know, more tools in neutral. You know, he has the blast armor, he has, you know, on strikes, he has the special move that destroys cards, as Swift said. But I feel like if you can master Goku's gauge, he becomes a bigger threat than Gogeta. Obviously, Gogeta is still, you know, very insane, especially in a situation where you lose a character and you have that lock-in and you can choose when to use it, you know, so that's also pretty powerful. But both of them are clearly above everybody else in the game, and I don't think there's really a good argument to say that they aren't, you know. It really boils down to, who do you value more? Do you value Gogeta for his easiness, or do you value Goku because once you're very skilled with him, he becomes an unstoppable force? You know, that's pretty much what it boils down to. So, yeah, they're obviously the best two in the game, and that's why God Tier was created, because, you know, the ultras are shaping the meta by themselves, right? You know, obviously everybody's making teams for this guy, and they're pretty much everywhere in the meta right now.
And the thing about Goku is you're not
both
like
Saiyans.
Yeah, I was literally about to say that. Like, you're not forced to run him on God Key. Like, you can really build just like a generic Saiyan team. And if anything, you can run both of these guys together. It's yellow and blue. So, you know, you got a yellow unit, and then if you happen to run into somebody with the red, then you have a blue unit to cover Goku. So they really kind of cover each other nicely as well.
Yeah. And obviously the third character will be G4, because G4 is also incredibly powerful. And speaking of G4, let's go down here. He's the best unit in Z tier now. So we have Gogeta 4, full power Frieza, Jiren, Goku Vegeta, and the newly added future Gohan up in Z tier as well. I think ever since after the boost, I think people have really started to notice that Goku Vegeta in particular has, you know, fallen off quite a bit. Their damage isn't, you know, the same, and their defense is noticeably worse, you know. So, and they aren't as meta relevant as, you know, G4 or Full Power Frieza, or even Jiren now, because Jiren has seen a lot of playtime with this Goku releasing, because they go so well together. But that's pretty much the reason why Goku Vegeta fell off a bit. You know, the damage isn't that great. Their teams, they aren't really, you know, core on their teams. Like, God Key is okay. I mean, Mara Purple is okay, but in this meta with these two running around, I wouldn't advise running Mara Purple right now, because it's just gonna be a nightmare for you. But what do you guys think of our Z tier here? We have G4 at number 1. I think that's pretty universal from most players in the player base. That G4 has just risen up to be an absolute force. His kit plus his splash is just insane. But I'll let you guys, you know, have some thoughts on our Z tier here.
Asdeek, what do you think?
I feel a little bit conflicted. I'm not gonna lie. I 100% agree with Gogeta 4 being number 1, but I feel like a part of me does still feel like Goku Vegeta are better than Jiren. I feel like they're just so damn oppressive. I don't think Jiren is oppressive. Like, I understand, like, from the point of view of the meta, how this Jiren, because even I myself, I run Jiren next to Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken like almost every single match. But the Super Saiyan God Goku and Vegeta, I just feel like individually they're just, even though, yes, like, I know, like, they relied heavily on the Zenkai buffs, on just the gimmick of Mono Purple as a whole, as well as the featured boost system. But I feel like if you run into a 14-star Goku Vegeta right now, like, even without all that, like, you are still going to have, like, a difficult time against them, right? I feel like if I run into a 14-star Goku Vegeta, I'm going to be more scared of them than I am going to be scared of the Jiren. Because with Jiren, I mean, I don't know. I'm still undecided about Jiren a little bit, because I still feel like it's very easy for me to go against Jiren and just be like, okay, well, I just won't use my rush until he's dead.
Right.
And then I kind of just skate by on that fact. But, you know, I don't know. You guys can call me a Jiren hater or whatever, but cause I still use him. Like I said, I use him a lot even, but I don't necessarily think he's deserving of this spot.
No, you're good. No, I mean, honestly, that is a valid argument. You know, Goku Vegeta still has like something we've never seen before, you know, with the fact that they can just change their element factor whenever they want to. I mean, that is something like that's still super, super good. And like you said, a 14-star GV is still pretty threatening. I think with Jiren, the cool part about him is you can almost just throw him on like any team in the leader slot and he's going to work really well. I guess you could do the same thing with Blue Boys as well, but I don't know. It is tough to say. Like, they're pretty even, honestly. I think Goku Vegeta brings a lot to, you know, the team. He honestly offers a lot for the team. Good Z ability as well. Like I said, you can throw Goku Vegeta in the leader slot, and they just have a really good Z ability. But I don't know. It is kind of tough to say, you know, which one's hands down better. You know, I'm kind of more biased towards God Key, and I would say Goku. If you are running God Key, Goku Vegeta is kind of like, you know, one of the better units on the team. It's going to be like Goku Vegeta and Kaioken Goku and whoever else. But I don't know. I do agree with you on the fact that Goku Vegeta is still very threatening in certain situations, especially in high stars. Mm-hmm. But then again, Jiren really, I mean, dude, Jiren can be pretty threatening. Like you said, you're almost forced not to rush, so the enemy can kind of take advantage of that, and you know they can use their rush, and you're trying to get rid of Jiren and not use your rush. So I don't know. It is tough to say. ZVG, what do you think about the placement here on these units?
I mean, I have some bias because I agree with the placement, because I also agree that I feel like Jiren is just better than GV right now. I feel like another thing too that kind of made GV a little less threatening is the fact that most teams now have a way to reduce their healing. You know, a lot of units have come out that just reduce healing for no reason, and that's partly due because of, you know, them, right? Because they changed the whole healing landscape of the meta and how they can just heal back to full if they're at 1 HP. But I do agree with Azzy that they are still threatening. Like, I feel like people are just downplaying them heavily right now, especially on Twitter and Reddit, but I feel like they're still like easily like, you know, top 10 units in the game. Like, they're still broken as hell, right? So, but I just feel like Jiren on his most optimal setups is pretty terrified. I feel like as Zeke's point about, you know, Jiren being easy to take down is also in part due to, you know, you really find Jiren on his most optimal team. Like, I feel like the one person that's bringing him on his most optimal team right now is a Korean guy, I think, who was in NA somehow. He runs Jiren, Revival Frieza, and the new Super Symbol Kaioken. Now that team is, I'm telling you, like, if you guys go up against that team, bro, it is insanely difficult to take down, because first of all, Jiren has endurance and the Frieza has Revival, so it's gonna be hard to rush. And then two, the team just works well because, you know, those units don't need support, you know, because they're already insanely busted by themselves, you know. So on that front, the team is very, very good. But I can see Azik's point, yeah, because there aren't really any good Jiren players actually like running around in PvP right now, I will say. But I just think that, you know, he's better. I think he has more damage. Honestly, I feel like I'm on purple. Obviously, GV has more, but without all the Zenkai benches, I feel like Jiren just out damages them. Plus, he has blast armor, AoE green card, even though it kind of sucks because it doesn't nullify cover. It has endurance, AoE ultimate, which is very powerful. I just find him good, but I can definitely see Azik's points, for sure. I like how nobody is complaining about this Frieza being above GV, because I feel like people are really underestimating this Frieza right here. Like, he's just very, very, very powerful. Like, he makes LoE like insanely oppressive because of the anti-endurance, the AoE blue card, the blast armor, the green card. He's just insanely powerful. So I'm glad that nobody's really complaining about him being above them.
Oh no, that I agree, that makes sense. And especially the taking away of the Dragon Balls. That is like that is one of the most annoying things about him, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
It screwed me over way too many times, dude.
Plus, he has a blast cover change too.
Yeah.
So. Yep.
That can combo to the blue card, bro. Like, it's.
Yeah, he just has. He's literally the embodiment of having everything but support. Like, he's just. Yeah.
And the blue Revival Frieza takes away Dragon Balls too, doesn't he? So it's like you got two units that are doing that. It's crazy.
Yep. It's a fun team to fight against.
No, it's not. But yeah, that's pretty much it for The Z tier right here, Future Gohan. I mean, we talked about him so many times before. The best leader in the game, best support in the game. Obviously he's kind of taking a little bit of a hit because his damage and defense aren't what they used to be, but his support is still insanely valuable to any team he's really on, you know. So that's why he got, you know, bumped up to Z tier.
Yeah, you could literally just throw Future Gohan on like any team.
Yeah,
almost, and he's gonna work fine.
Yeah, but that's pretty much it for our Z tier. Now going on the list, we have S tier here. We have Sword Hope Trunks, Baba Frieza, SV, the new Zenkai Vegeta, first one Frieza Beerus, the final form Frieza Zenkai. Like LOE just in the S tier here. Like LOE just taking over the S tier, and then we have other Goku as the last unit. In S
yes,
tier.
sir.
But, I feel like our S tier is pretty good. I feel like, you know, as he said, you know, off camera, whatever, he said that Trunks could be in Z tier, but I feel like Trunks is kind of limited on his teams per se. But I can't see the argument for it. Like I wouldn't be opposed to him being there. And obviously Val Frieza is still insane. SV is also pretty good, and the Vegeta is pretty cracked, if I do say so myself. But what do you guys think of our S tier here? Would you guys change anything? Obviously LOE has the most units here. 4 units on their team are literally in here. But yeah, what would you guys change?
Honestly, I think I agree with like all of this. I think, like, kind of like you said, Sword of Hope Trunks is really just limited to his teams. He's kind of, you know, forced to be run on Future or like Vegeta Clan. So if you're just completely ignoring team setups, then I think you could make the argument that Trunks could be up there in Z tier with Future Gohan. But if you're actually considering team setups, which I think you should when you're making a tier list like this, it makes sense that Trunks is where he is. And yeah, everything else I agree with, man. You know, Revival Freeze is incredible. All the Zenkais here honestly make sense. Yeah, I don't think I really disagree with any of this. I'm glad to see Beerus up here, the blue Beerus. I kind of like that.
Is he moving down?
Loves that.
Yeah, I know. I love this unit, but is he moving down a little bit, or?
I will say that he probably might go down, because I think I said this to you, Azdik. I feel like he's gonna age very badly. I feel like his defense is just.
It's not when he leaves, when he leaves the boost system.
Yeah, when he leaves the boost, like he's gonna get exposed of it. In my opinion, you know, obviously.
No.
You know, but because I actually I don't know if it was it, but I found Zephyrus Beerus, and I literally used 3 cards and killed him.
What?
That's pretty crazy.
I literally did three cards and just killed him. So
yeah.
And he has the best Beerus in the game, I'd say. So.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Offensively, obviously, you know, with the sniping, he's very good, but I feel like his defensive downside just isn't. His offense isn't enough to really justify his defense, in my opinion.
That's how I feel about that. And that, especially because for the longest, when Beerus came out and I had actually pulled him, I was playing with him a lot. Like, and I would have him Zenkai buffed. Like, I had the God Goku, the Super Saiyan Blue Goku, the free to play one, as a Zenkai buffer, and I ended up taking that guy off because then I started running the Kaioken Goku on there, right?
Yeah.
And so without the Zenkai buffs, dude, I was getting 2-carded. So I was like, oh my god. I was like, I can't run this man anymore. So I've actually stopped using him since. I was actually curious to see what you guys thought about, because I already know, ZVG, you were already telling me from jump that you thought he was gonna age poorly because of his defenses, and it's coming true, bro. Like he does get hit extremely hard. I still like him a lot, but yeah, I could see him moving down a couple more a couple more spots.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
In the future.
I've heard from numerous people that Beerus, like, and I've seen it myself as well, but he just really requires high stars. Like, if you're gonna run him viably, you almost need, like, at least, like, red 2 or higher. And even then, like ZVG said, he doesn't really have the proper defenses, but I will say, like, there is certain situations he can pop off with damage, and especially with God Key just getting this super strong yellow unit, a blue unit like this will help, you know, kind of cover Kaioken Goku's weaknesses a little bit. But then again, there's really not like a bunch of people running red units in the meta right now, so I don't know. It's kind of tough to say, but I do recognize his potential, but I kind of agree with ZVG. When he leaves the boost system, we probably will see him fall down on this tier list a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And also, another thing too, I feel like his anti-revival isn't really prevalent.
Oh, it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be.
I feel like me and Swift have the same sentiment. I feel like it's there, but I'm never worried really about it, to be honest. Like I feel like if I manage myself, if I manage my swaps, then I won't have to worry about it. But it can happen, you know. It's still a threat there, but it's not as big as we thought it would be.
I think the scariest part about his kit is just that lock on his green card once you get below 50%
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah.
And he draws a blue card when he pops the green too, doesn't he? So that can be pretty powerful, but
yeah, for sure.
it's got to be like the right situation for it to actually cancel a revival. And I'm not gonna lie, when they first announced Beerus, I was a little bit nervous when they showed the anti-revival, but I am glad to say, like, nowadays it's not really something like that's too threatening, at least in my opinion.
Yeah. I think, you know what's crazy to me, dude, is that you see all of these yellow units on Z tier and in S tier, and not a single red, bro. That's just how damn bad reds are, dude.
Because we haven't had a red in since the red Piccolo.
That's
like
crazy.
Literally. That's the last red unit we got.
Reds just suck.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we got the free-to-play God Goku, but he's not really going to do much. And honestly, I think FSK Gohan could thrive in this meta, but then you're always in the predicament of, okay, if I'm going to run hybrids with FSK, then I have to be extremely worried about running into Ultra Gogeta. So, and I mean, even though, you know, obviously FSK has his last man stand abilities where he goes type neutral, which can, you know, obviously basically one-shot Ultra Gogeta in the right situation, but you know, you always take that risk of, you know, you never know who you're gonna match against. So I don't know.
And then too, Ultra Gogeta can just pop a green card and just make him useless.
Oh yeah,
those remove buffs.
Yep.
So,
but that's pretty much it for S tier here. Now going on to tier 1 just a little bit, not too much, because tier 1 has like a lot of units here. But we moved the Master Goku Black and Revival Gohan down. I feel like if you are a future Gakimin at this point, I think you've accepted the fact that this guy's just not the best green for his teams anymore.
Yeah.
That's probably due to part. Obviously defensively he's pretty great, but his damage is just not there. Utility wise he's good, but in this meta I feel like you need damage more than how much you need defense, per se. And then too, this guy up here has defense while having damage, so it's kind of like, you know, you're getting the best of both worlds if you're running this guy over him. Yeah, but obviously I still run him because I don't have that guy Zenkai, and he still performs fine defensively. He's a monster. His blue card moves one Dragon Ball, green card takes away Vanish. He's obviously still good utility wise, but he's not the best green on his teams anymore. Then you have a Gohan, just not really meta relevant anymore, not on really any teams. Nobody's really rocking this guy at all. So, you know, if we see a hybrid resurgence, he could potentially go back up. But for right now, tier 1 is where
there's just so many strong yellow units, man.
Yeah.
Like all these yellow, it's kind of funny when you think about it. Like a few months ago, it was like purples everywhere, and now it's yellows everywhere. Like it's just, I don't know, it's weird to think about, but I think that's part of the reason why he's probably fallen down a little bit. Is just so many strong yellow units.
Yeah, for sure.
Next month is gonna be mono red running around.
I wouldn't be surprised.
But yeah, going down tier 1, we have Bardock here, as we said in the last video. A lot of yellows, as like our first red is Omega Shenron down here, and we have like a lot of yellows before him. You know, obviously reds are in a pretty bad spot, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Dude, every time I see this guy, bro, I just get upset, man.
You see that guy and you're like, he should be lower.
I see this guy, yeah, every time, man, every time. He's very bad, man. Very, very bad. But yeah, that's pretty much it for our tier list here. Not really gonna go over tier 1 or tier 2 too much, because realistically it doesn't really matter, because how often are you gonna see these guys in rank? Like, let's be real, like you're not gonna see Zamasu or 21 or, you know, Topo being used consistently and stuff. So
yeah,
bro,
it's not really much to really go over.
It's crazy that you say that, but the amount of Vados that I've seen in PvP,
Well, I think people are scoping, to be honest. Like, people are scoping.
No, hold up. I will say, hold on. Let me say something. I think the reason Vados is popping up is obviously God Key got a very, very good unit. But I will say individually, she's obviously still not the best. But when you factor in her support on top of Ultra Goku, there is some usability there, I think. And I like, even myself, I used Vados last night, and she was honestly impressing me. I had her, I think, double Zenkai buffed, and I tried one team where she was double Zenkai buffed, and then I tried another team where she only had a single Zenkai buff. And she was impressing me, and obviously her cover change is still super annoying. Her green card reducing ally sub count. I mean, she's still got a lot of good things in her kit, but if it comes down to like a 1v1 and Vados is your last unit, you're probably gonna lose. I hate to say it, like individually she's just not really there, but as a whole on God Key she has some usability. Go ahead, CBG.
Here's how I view Vados, right? If you bring her, you're playing a 2v3. Like that's how I personally view her, because I feel like she really won't do much to you, and she really won't tank you at all.
No.
So really what she's there for is to just swap in, pop the green card, and swap out. And at that point, you're really just relying on the 2 units that you have instead of her. And that's pretty much just how I view it. I feel like we've passed the team model where there's just 1 unit being a support. I feel like we've passed that per se. Other than, Future Gohan, because Future Gohan can, has defensive utility and support and damage. So he's not, a Vados of a fighter there, but
and we did just get the Zenkai Green Vegeta, and I think it's obvious. Like, if you're trying to be like serious when you're playing PvP, that is the better green unit, is the Green Vegeta. So
this might be a hot take too, but I feel like Bardock's gonna become a Vados soon. Like I can definitely see Bardock becoming a Vados pretty soon.
I mean, he almost is kind of like a Vados for Super Saiyans with his support.
Yeah. But him individually, he just not that great at all.
He's not what he once was. I will agree with you on that. Like, if you compare Bardock now to like Bardock like 6-7 months or like 5-6 months ago, there is a big difference. I tried running Super Saiyans yesterday, and I noticed Bardock's damage has definitely fallen off a little bit. So I agree with you on that. That's why, like, if you guys remember on the last tier list, I tried making an argument maybe like Bardock could be a little higher. And on this tier list, I actually agree with his placement. I mean, I don't think he's really a super impactful unit. The support for Super Saiyans is really nice, but obviously individually, I don't think he is what he once was, I should say.
Yeah, he's definitely peaked, and that's what you're gonna see with these Zenkai units, right? They're gonna peak, and then they're gonna just slowly, but depending on how good their Zenkai was in the first place, they're gonna just start fading off. You see that with other, like, what are some like really like OG Zenkai units that are just completely dead? Like 16. Right, he's terrible. He's absolutely terrible. Like,
dude, I spent CC to Zenkai him, and I regret it so much. I don't even know why I did, dude.
Yeah, bro. That man's dead and gone. So,
but hold up, I want to ask you guys something, because I don't think GamePress has updated it. And this is just opinions here. This isn't like set in stone. But obviously, we did just get the Zenkai Rose. I feel like it's worth talking about at least. We don't have to give like a set in stone position. But where would you guys place him? Honestly, in my opinion, he would be in most likely tier 1, just because I don't think he's super impactful. But what do you guys think?
Yeah,
I think he'd be somewhere around here. I feel like somewhere around here.
Okay.
Place him.
That's where I see him too. Tier 1 fighter for sure. I don't see him S tier. I don't see him
in high tier 1. Like I can't see him above like Bardock. Sure, like I just can't. He has to be below Bardock in some regard. So somewhere down here.
Okay, that makes sense. I figured it was worth bringing up because, we did just get the Zenkai, and I will say I was kind of disappointed with the Zenkai. I think myself and a lot of other people were like really excited for him.
He's just so squishy still, bro. Like, he's so squishy. I mean, obviously the stats do not help at all.
Yeah, dude, they butchered his stats and his kit. Like, at least butcher his kit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
bro, he's got lower stats than the Zenkai OG Blue Broly. I'm pretty sure. I saw somebody I saw somebody compare that the other day.
I think he has the second lowest strike attack for a Zenkai.
Yeah.
Only the Blue Broly's worse.
And my thing is, like, if they would have given him, and I'm not trying to go on a big tangent about Rose, but if they would have given him more buffs, then the stats wouldn't have mattered as much. But the fact is they didn't go crazy on the stats, and they didn't go crazy on the buffs that he has. So that's all I'm going to say about that. But
yeah.
All right, that's pretty much gonna beat, unless you guys have anything else to.
Yeah, I got one last thing. I'll say it every tier list until it happens.
Whatever.
I still believe that Corrupted Zamasu should be a tier 1 fighter.
The Red LF Zamasu?
Dude, I think Ape has to go. Like, there's no Apes up here and then CMZ just down here. Like,
that's exactly what I was thinking.
I'll talk to Emma.
Well, especially in this meta with all the yellow units running around, I think you could make an argument for CMZ to move up a little bit. I don't know exactly where he would be, but I think you could make that argument that he could move up.
Probably above this guy for sure. I don't know. Okay, but yeah, Isaac, I'll talk to him about about the rhythm a bit more.
Okay,
I'll talk to him. All right, but yeah, that's gonna be it for the GamePress tier list here. Let us in the comments what you guys think below. Let us know what you would change and what you wouldn't change. And yeah, this is ZVG joined by the homies Azdeek and Swift. And we'll catch you guys in the next 5-9 gaming video. Peace out, guys.
Peace.
Later.